Hello and welcome back to the Goblin channel. Yes, this is now the Goblin channel because all we seem to do is look at Goblin vacuum cleaners. I'm just gobbling all day. What? No, shut up. So obviously we have another Goblin to unbox. What is it this time? Let's find out. This machine was on eBay and it was on there twice actually, and I'm really annoyed with myself that I didn't bid on it the first time round, because if I bid on it the first time round I would have got it for £5, which would have been awesome. In the end I bid on it and I won it the second time round, and I think it went for £18, so it's not a huge amount of money, and then you add the postage, which I think was a tenner, so it was about £29 in all. It's this is a funny one. I already have one of these in the collection, but not this model, and they are getting really quite hard to find now. They were not the best machines in the world. There's no argument about that here. I do rather like them because I've got a fond memory of this particular cleaner. Not this particular model, but this cleaner. So I think I should stop waffling and let's get it out of the box. Got my trusty knife here, so let's get rid of this black bag. So as you can see, it's an upright this time. So we've had our fill of cylinder goblins. So let's have a look at an upright goblin. Get this off. Oh, it's hard to cut. There we go. I'm going to have to put it down on the floor. Make sure I don't stab myself in the eye with this knife. Now I'm probably going to have to go off and get a screwdriver to attach the handle, but that's fine. Let's slice through there, slice through there, and yeah, there we go. Hopefully it's made it in one piece. They're sort of fragile. They're not super fragile, but they're sort of fragile. And then we can extract it from the box and I'll lay it down there. So the eagle eyes amongst you will have already spotted what it is. I don't think I've ever actually seen this particular model before in the flesh. As I said, I do have one in the collection, but I have the soft bag version of this cleaner, but it's also got the tools built in on the back, and whilst the tools are not built in per se, they are sort of more on board, if you like, on board tools. Oh, that's interesting. I'm not entirely sure that's the correct cord hook. Ooh, it smells a bit funny. I think it's white as well. Yeah, it is white, and unusually it's still quite white. Normally machines that are white go a really horrible cream colour, as you've seen before on the channel. Let me just look, see how it just flops down. Now what we've got here is a Goblin laser type 1920C, and I think, judging by the serial number, it's 1991. Yeah, I'm going to say it's a 1991 machine. So we need to. We've only got one screw here for the handle. The handle should have two screws. You can see the holes there, but we've only got one screw. But never mind, we can always find a screw. If you need a screw, you can find a screw. That's never hard. So yeah, there we go. That is a 91 Goblin laser. Now I'm looking at it now and I'm thinking, actually, maybe that's not 91. It's very hard to read the serial numbers because I'm never entirely sure if they are completely accurate. The serial number is 303-86091. So yeah, the only clue there is the 91, which would kind of make you think it was 91, but I don't think it is. And the reason I say I don't think it is a 91 machine, I think it's actually later than 91. From memory, I think the laser series was launched in 91, and I can tell this is a later machine because it's well, this particular model was not in the leaflets and the brochures. This is not, yeah, this is not an original one. And in fact, I think that's interesting. I thought, oh, that's really funny. Just looking at this like this, you can't see any labelling on the hood of the cleaner here, and I thought that was quite strange that there wasn't any on it. But I've just seen in the light, if I look at it in a particular way, I can just make out some wording on it, and it says Goblin Laser 2200. So this is a 2200 model, but it's not a 2200 model because it's a 1920C. So why on earth they bothered to call it a Laser 2200 when that's not what it is, who knows? But then it's Goblin. So, as we discovered in the past, Goblin are insane and they did crazy things. Yeah, so this is not an original laser. The other clue, sorry, I was going to tell you this, is the switch pedal here. If you can see that this switch pedal has a section that sticks out here. Now the early machines, this pedal was actually flat, and this was not there. It was like I suppose you could say it was like a knobble defect. The pedal had like little plastic knobbles, like little bubbles on it, and you were meant to push that obviously with your foot. Obviously, it's a foot switch, but what they found was people couldn't do it. Your foot would just slide off, slide off the pedal on the early ones, and you have to push it in. You can see there, you've got to push it in quite a way in order to actuate the switch. So this having this sort of extra section on it indicates that it's a later laser. I'm just trying to think, is that on or off? I think that is off. So yeah. So I'm going to say it's a later machine. If I had to guess, I would say probably around 1995, around that kind of area, maybe 94. It's quite hard to tell really. And this was probably one of the last ones too, because it's a very basic machine. There's nothing special about this at all. It is just a dirty fan action, upright, hard box vacuum cleaner. There's no tools on the back. There's no special functions to it. There's no bagless system. All you have in here is a dust bag that is contained within this hard area here. The chap did say that there was dirt in the bag, and he asked me, do you want me to send it with the dust bag in it or not? He said, I can take it out for you if you don't want it. I said, I'm not entirely sure. I've got dust bags for the laser upstairs in the workshop, so keep the bag in it, so at least then I can run it and test it and try it. So yeah, it is a bit smelly, sadly, but never mind. I will say though, it's not in bad condition. There's a few scratches on it. Something's happened up here with the handle that you can't see. It's got some tape residue on it. But for a white machine, it is still remarkably white. I mean, I've shown you turbo powers in the past that were previously white, and they're just completely and utterly cream now. This is still remarkably white, to be honest. I'm really quite surprised. Let's have a quick look underneath. There's not really much to see under here. We've just got this brush roll. There's the other screw. It's lucky I didn't turn it on, because that would have gone straight into the fan. So that's good. At least we have the other screw. Interesting place to store it in the brush roll. Never mind. I will say that the brush roll is not bad. It is plastic, but it has some really decent length bristles on it. They're not very stiff, these bristles. They are quite soft, but they are of a decent length. And I think the belt is belt's a bit loose. I think it might need a new belt, but we can do that. I'll do a servicing video and we'll take it apart and have a look inside. Now, by far the weakest areas of the laser series was the bellows If I just put this handle down so you can see it, I'll show you it there. There's the bellows that runs from the fan casing. What's that? It smells like tunes. That's really weird. Yeah, it's got this great big long bellows here, and what used to happen was these bellows would just break. They would split for a hobby. They would go all the time. Almost every laser you would have in to be fixed, this bellows was absolutely knackered. And they go quite hard over time. But when they were, that's sticky. It's like tunes. That's weird. Yeah, they go really hard, but they were really soft when they were new. This rubber is really, really soft rubber, and anything sharp that goes through the fan, it just pierces the bellows. It just goes straight through it, pierces it, and your bellows is knackered, which is not ideal. We've got the tool port here on the front. You lift that up. Very Moulinex-esque. If you're familiar with the Moulinex Master and Major series from 1979, they had this kind of front port. It was more complex on the Moulinex machines. You kind of like slid this originally metal and then plastic slider across, which would open up the port for the hose and also raise the brush roll off the floor. But the laser is much simpler. It's just a flap with a seal on it. There's a seal, so that seals down, and you'll notice it raises and lowers itself up off the floor. But that is, again, because it's Goblin, it's so unbelievably cheap. It's just a bar. There's a bar here that runs down underneath. You might be able to see it there. If I do that, you can see the bar moving there. That's what raises it up off the floor, and it's actuated by a little nubbin here. So when you put the handle up, it pushes on the bar and it raises the brush roll up off the floor for when you're in tools mode. It's quite neat, actually. It's quite a simple and effective way of doing it. Now, I will be totally honest with you, even though it is an absolute pile of rubbish, I have a soft spot for the laser, and it's kind of one of those guilty pleasure things, really. On my 16th birthday, which would have been 1993, was I 16 in 93? Yes, I was. My mum needed to buy a new vacuum cleaner, and we didn't have much money when I was a kid, and she bought a new machine through her catalogue, which I think was probably Littlewoods, and she ordered a Goblin laser, and it was the blue one with the integrated tools, not tools that just sit on the back, but rather they were built in to the cleaner. So at this point here, if I just turn this one around, at this point here there was a hole, and the hose came out of this hole, went up the back and around, and then sealed back down on this side. You had a couple of rods and two tools up here, and how that worked was there was like a valve at this point, so it didn't have a flap. There was no flap on that machine. You moved the lever back and forth, and that blocked the suction channel for the brush roll. So therefore it diverted the suction through the hose, and when you took the hose out the back, you'd have the suction on your hose, and when you put the hose back on the back, it sealed the end of the hose, and then when you flipped the lever back to carpet mode, the airflow came up from the brush roll. And that was a really nice cleaner. I enjoyed using that, and I remember Mum actually received the machine a few days before my birthday, and then on the morning of my birthday, she brought the laser, still sealed in its box, into my bedroom and said, "Happy birthday, look what we've got." And I remember it clear as day, waking up and there's Mum with this boxed brand new laser there on my birthday. So that was wonderful to unbox a brand new vacuum cleaner, which very rarely happened when I was a kid. Very, 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 very rare. Yeah, and we had it for a few years. I think the bellows broke on that, actually. I think, yeah, pretty sure the bellows split. and it used to leak as well around where the bellows joins the back body. It's not a particularly good seal, so the dust and the dirt tends to leak out through that point. It actually gets sucked into the motor. I forget where the cooling. Where is the cooling on it? Oh, it's here. Yeah, actually, yeah. This one's doing it as well. There's a point here where there's a vent. I don't know if you can just see that. There's a vent there, and I'm pretty sure that's there. You go. There's some filth that's been stuck on it. I'm pretty sure the motor sucks air in through this point, and you can see it's really close to the bellows here. So when the bellows splits, the dirt comes out through the bellows and it gets sucked straight into the motor. Fantastic, brilliant. Isn't that wonderful? Well done, Goblin. Genius. But there's no sort of real exhaust for the motor cooling. It just kind of goes in and that's it. I mean, I suppose technically it can come out around the gap here where the flap is. Yeah, and that's how it cools itself. It's just crazy. I suppose we should plug it in and see if it works. I'm dreading this. These machines did have the habit of breaking their fans as well. Just look at the plug. Is it a Goblin plug? No, it's not. No, it's just a generic plug. I'm not sure this is the original Flex actually. They didn't have this little orange clip on usually. So let's plug it in. Let's see if it works. That doesn't sound too bad actually for one of these. I think the previous owners had they've had dogs. Yeah, that doesn't sound bad at all. I can't run that anymore. I can't run that anymore. That needs to be really. Oh, I wish you had smell-o-vision. Oh, when you don't have dogs and you run a machine that belongs to people who do have them. Oh, it's really strong, really strong. I can't run that anymore. That bag needs to go straight in the bin. Even if I haven't got any upstairs, I'll bodge something. I'm not using that bag. It's yeah, that's really bad. So yeah, there we go. There's today's Goblin on the Goblin channel. Yeah, we'll do some work on it. We'll take it apart. We'll have a look inside. It does need a new belt. And in order to change the belt on these, you need to take the machine apart. You at least need to take the hood off. So when we've got the hood off, we'll have a good look inside. I suspect it needs a really good clean in there as well. So we'll take the motor cover off, we'll take the fan cover off. We'll have a really good look, probably spray some oil on the bearings as well. It would be interesting to see if I could recreate the graphics on the front, because it's a shame that the graphics have gone. I suspect what's happened is somebody's cleaned it and they've rubbed too hard and the lettering's come off. You can see just on the G here from Goblin that it's starting to fail there. Budget cleaner. Yeah, it's not made to last. It's a minor miracle that it's here, to be honest with you. It is yeah, really surprising. So I hope you enjoyed that little unboxing video. Look forward to seeing the laser again in subsequent videos. And I will say goodbye to you now. Don't forget to do the usual, comment, subscribe and like. I always love hearing from you guys. If you've got any memories of the laser as well, please let us know. And I will see you soon in the next video. You take care. Bye. Me again. Hello. I just took the bag out of the cleaner actually, and I just opened the flap there. And I just noticed that up here on the back, it's really hard to see. I mean, definitely you're going to be able to see it. But if I just bring it down and have a really close look, there's a date stamp and it says on it, I'm just going to put it into the light, sorry, 691. So actually, I was right originally. It is a 1991 machine, June 91. So it is actually quite an early laser. I honestly didn't think it was, and I think the reason for that was because the lettering has gone from the hood. That made me think that it was a later machine, because I'm pretty sure the later ones didn't have or had but reduced lettering on the hood. It all gets really confusing. And I just went and got one of my Goblin leaflets out. Now the closest machine I can find in here, if I just show you this, so there's the laser range. That's the model there that my mum bought back in '93. Bless her. It wasn't the top model. That's the top model, the Duo system, which is basically exactly the same as the Hoover Turbo Power Freedom. This was like in the time where companies were trying to do bagless machines and doing it really, really badly. It had a filter at the top of the dust box. There's a filter here, so you see where the bag was on this one. There was a plastic moulding section here which kind of came down, which directed the air down into the dust box. And at this point there was like a cartridge filter, so the air would come down, all the dirt would drop into the box, and then the air would come back out through the cartridge filter, which was here, and then come back out into the air. But just like the Hoover system, it just blocked up and it was absolutely pointless. But the one that I'm really interested in here is this one. Hopefully you can see that. It's really hard to sort of show you on the camera, but the leaflet here says that this is a Goblin Laser 1000X, and it's very, very similar to the machine we have here with us right now. It's the same colour, and actually the model number of this cleaner that's shown in the booklet is 19201. So that's probably the first version of it, and on the hood it just says laser 1000. So yeah, that is probably the previous version to this cleaner. If that's the 1000, then this is the 2200, so that would make sense that it's the next one on. But again, it's so hard. You would never know unless you had the books that have the entire production run history in them. You'd never know what was what. This particular cleaner could be a special order. This may have been just for Currys, it may have just been for Comet, it could have been for the electricity boards. You just don't know. But yeah, model number 1920C. I don't even know. I mean, there's not even a clue in that. That one's 19201. This one's 1920C. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But definitely worth checking your leaflets, because I was starting to doubt myself, and that's never good. So anyway, I'm going to say bye again, and let's go lasering. See you guys.